Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I want to do is talk about photographic evidence in the JFK assassination. Now, as everybody knows, and they see my videos and they read my books and stuff like that, in my research, I base everything on photographic evidence. And if eyewitness accounts matches what we could see, then I put that into the mix as well. Just like I point out in my research, okay, I show photographic evidence of 5 gunmen in 4 different locations. Okay, I show this. Okay, I'm not telling you a story like other researchers do. I'm not telling you a story. Okay, I'm showing you photographic evidence. Now, there's a lot of people out there that says, well, there were shots came from Dowtex buildings, shots came from the South Side and everything else, but they're telling you a story. Where's their evidence at? There is none. Me, I said, well, there's a gunman on second floor of the county records building, gunman on rooftop of the county records building, Oswald on the 6th floor of Texas School Book Depository, and 2 gunmen on a grassy knoll in shelter number 3 right behind Mrs. Pruder. I'm telling you from photographic evidence, and that's what my evidence is. And then I back up the shots and the locations and stuff of these gunmen because we can see shots being fired from them locations and stuff. So see, my research is basically based on photographic evidence. And if it fits a story, if the story that's told by eyewitnesses and stuff fits what they say or heard that day or smelled that day or anything else, if it fits where these locations are and everything else and their story fits it, then I can use that, because in the last 50 plus years, a lot of people start making up new stories about the JFK assassination. Like some new ones are coming out now as well. But like I said, what I want to do is, my research is different than a lot of other people's research, okay? Because me, if I could see it, then it happened. If you tell me a story, then we don't know if it happened or not, unless we have evidence to prove it. That's why my research is so important. A lot of people don't understand my research is so important, because now we don't have to sit there and keep on telling theory or telling another story, or we know the difference between the reality and truth from false claims and theories and stuff. Just like me, my research is based on photographic evidence, just like right here. We have photographic evidence of JFK being shot from shelter number 3. Not only the Zapruder film shows us this, the Nix film shows us this, the Bronson film shows us this, other images, Darnell film and stuff, everything shows us that the assassins in the JFK assassination took the fatal headshot to JFK and the shot to Governor Connally as he was turning to his left fits this location of these gunmen, shows the shots being fired from that location, and we also have eyewitness accounts that claim the assassin was right behind him and shots came from behind them. Okay, when we piece all this together, then we have more sense. Now we know the whole story when it comes to this right here, this location here. People don't understand that a photograph speaks 1,000 words. Everybody heard that old saying, one photo, one image speaks 1,000 words, okay? But then when you start taking other images and other images and put on there, that's more words that can be added to it, okay? Because the image does tell us a lot. And my research, I tell you what we see. It's not what I see, it's what everybody sees. Because we can see this in the films, we can see this in the images. Just like the image right here. I had a friend take this for me, okay? Because of, now we know the gunman's view. We have actually the gunman's view, and we see that shot lineup, and we know that fatal headshot came from there because we see it by the films and we see by the images of where that fatal headshot come from. And now we have that gunman's view, so we can see that gunman's location, and we see his shot taken here, which he had a clear shot to JFK. So see, my research, like I said, is based on photographic evidence, and that's the story I tell, is what we see in these images and what we see in this film. Just like right here, okay? Once we see like the manhole cover, the grass area shot, and the shot to the steps and the shot to the sign on the lamppost, okay? We see the gunman's location by the films. We see them with rifles. We see them firing with their rifles from them locations. And we see the locations that they make contact with. We see all of this. A lot of researchers are still guessing on, well, we're going to look at the Dowtex building, we're going to look at this location, we're going to look at that location. They're still guessing at it. when this evidence is already here. The evidence has been in front of the public's eye for over 50 plus years. But here it is. So see, I don't have to do the guessing games no more. I don't have to come up with no theories, because I don't base my research on theories. I don't base my research on a story unless that story matches what we can see. I base my evidence on photographic evidence. The story I tell is based on photographic evidence, because this is what we can see. Because now you know the story and you can see it as it unfolds. That's why in this book here, Evidence of Conspiracy, that's why all my research is based on photographic evidence. I even put it back here, photographic evidence. See, based on photographic evidence. Because in this book, you're going to see that photographic evidence firsthand. You're going to see the gunman taking their shots. You're going to see the gunman's location. Okay, you're going to hear the story that the images tell us and that the films tell us. No other book's going to have this. Only book that's got it in the world is right here, Evidence of Conspiracy. People don't understand it. You ain't going to find no documentaries. You're not going to find any of this information in documentaries. You're not going to see it in films or in other people's research, because they don't talk about this kind of stuff. Okay, it's about a theory. It's about the 3 shots. That's all people's worried about is the 3 shots: magic bullet shot, curve shot, fatal headshot, and theories after that. And trying to prove Oswald's innocence. Okay, that's all we're going to hear. But as you see here, I got photographic evidence. And that's all I got in my research, just like right here. If we look at the timelines, okay, no other researcher has timelines. No other researcher has distance or anything else. I'm the only one who has these, because I'm the only one that pinpoints every shot. I'm the only one that pinpoints from where these locations come from. I'm the only one that has photographic evidence to show what took place that day. No other researcher has this. I just want to make this video here to show you images and films and photographic evidence is like us being there. Okay, just like when we look at the photographic evidence, we piece it all together, we can find more answers out, like why was these distraction shots taken. We can see, so the 2 gunmen down here on a grassy knoll right in shelter number 3 can get away with people running up the hillside there trying to get out from the line of fire, and they're going to get mixed in with the crowd so they can get away. Okay, we can get a lot of information, and when we get this information, we can piece it all together. Now we have our evidence. Now we have our proof. Now we have our story, true story, because of these photographs and images are telling us this. People don't realize that. That's why when I did my research on JFK assassination, I based everything I have on photographic evidence. We now know the location of all gunmen right here, and we know there's 5 to be exact. We also know, and we can pinpoint, we can show evidence to show there was actually 13 shots fired that day. We know there was the gunman on a rooftop. We know he took just distraction shots. We know the gunman that's a gunman on the rooftop of the county records building. We know he was there just to take distraction shots. We know the gunman on the 2nd floor of the county records building. We know he took 4 shots that day. We know he shot JFK, Governor Connolly, and he also took 2 distraction shots. We know the gunman that's inside the shelter number 3 there right behind Mr. Zapruder. We know they took 1 shot each. We know 1 shot was the fatal headshot to JFK, and the other shot was to Governor Connolly as he was turning to his left. That's what I'm talking about. His story, Governor Connolly says he was looking out to his right. And as he was turning to his left, that's when he felt that blow in the back. That's when he was shot. After he heard the 2nd shot. He said he wasn't hit by the 1st shot, he was hit by the 2nd shot. Now, people don't understand is when you start looking at that and you watch the Zapruder film and other films, Governor Connolly's looking out to his right. It wasn't until after the fatal headshot when Governor Connolly starts turning to his left. Okay, so now he's turning to his left after the fatal headshot. That was the first shot that he heard. 2nd shot he heard, that's when he felt the blow in his back as he was turning to his left. As we've seen the Zapruder film and other films, this all backs up his story, because now he's telling the story, and now we can see this in the films. We can see this in the images. Even the Zapruder film shows the impact of that bullet striking Governor Connolly in the back in the same location where he was shot, showing that. And then he says he falls into his wife's lap, which also, again, we've seen in the Zapruder film and other films as well, after that shot to his back. So see, his story fits what we can see. So yeah, that is 100%, his story he tells is 100% accurate and proof of evidence right there. Because not only we can see his story, we can hear his story telling, but now we can see his story unfolds. Because like he said, he only heard 2 shots. The only thing was close to him, because remember, all these buildings and stuff are behind him, and remember, they're above them as well. But the only 2 shots he heard was the 2 shots coming from shelter number 3. He said he was hit by the second shot. Remember, there was only 2 shots fired. First shot, fatal headshot JFK. He turned around to his right to look at him. And then as he was turning back over to his left, that's when he heard the second shot and he felt the blow in his back. And that's the same thing we see in his Zapruder film, the same thing we see in the Nix film, and the same thing we see in Bronson film and other images to back it up. So see, not only Governor Connolly tells a story, but these images back it up. That's why I base everything on photographic evidence. If the story matches what we see as people, as the public, if it matches, then it happened. Okay? Eyewitness account said it was 2 shots that hit the manhole cover. Okay? We're going to pull that up for a minute. I'm going to talk about that. An eyewitness said it was 2 shots that hit the manhole cover. The police was telling her about it. Secret Service agents was telling about it and everything else. Well, let's see. This Zapruder film does show us 2 shots hitting the manhole cover. Okay? And we see a bullet ricocheting upward. We see a Secret Service agent picking up the bullet. Okay? We see this shot here. Okay? We see this shot right here in a Zapruder film. We see a shot striking right here in this part of the manhole cover. We see another shot strike this part of the manhole cover here. Okay? Now the eyewitness account says 2 shots hit there. Okay? So now we have an eyewitness matches the same story that what we could see in the Zapruder film. And today, both bullet holes still can be touched and felt and everything else, because we can still see them today, 54 years later. So you see, when they tell a story, that's why I base a lot of my stuff on photographic evidence, because they tell a story to us, and then it's us as researchers also takes the eyewitness accounts and match it up to what we see. Okay, if it doesn't match what we see, then that is a story that's made up. Okay, we can't base anything on theories. We cannot base anything without evidence. Okay, we can't base anything on a story. But if a story is told and you have evidence to back up that story, now we know what we can believe, because not only have the story, but we also have the evidence here. And the evidence says the same thing as this eyewitness says. So now we got 100% accurate, 100% truth. I wanted to make this video here to show and talk to you and tell you that my research is not based on a story, okay? It's based on photographic evidence of what we could see, okay? A lot of people's going to put videos out there or put in their books or in documentaries and stuff like that. They're just going to tell us a story, but they're never going to show us that evidence that they have, because there's no such evidence that exists of what they're telling us. I tell you there was 5 gunmen there, I show you photographic evidence. I tell you there was 13 shots, I show you the evidence of 13 shots. And everything I place in my book as well. Not only I make videos about it, but I place it in this book here, Evidence of Conspiracy, which is on Amazon, paperback and Kindle. And that's the only book in the world that you're going to find that has this kind of evidence in it. Photographic evidence, not a story. There's a story told, but the story was told by the films and images. That's what I did. I read them and I tell them. That's what I said. An image is worth 1,000 words. It all depends who's looking at it. I want to make this video here. Down in the description down below, you're going to find a site where you can order this book or any other of my books, because like I said, for the month of November and December, I'm going to take my royalties from my book sales and stuff and put it into this GoFundMe account so I can make this documentary next year on JFK assassination. If you want to make a donation, in the site down below, in the description down below, is going to be a site where you can make a donation, or you can order one of my books like Evidence of Conspiracy, which is probably right now the only book that's ever been printed, the only book that's ever going to have photographic evidence and evidence of what really took place that day. And that's the truth on that. But don't forget to tell your friends about us. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Share this video so other people know this information as well. Thank you and have a pleasant day.